Namaskaram. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Vedi is a space for an artist. It is a space created to showcase the best in the field of the art. Showcase those talents who have made a mark in their respective fields. A Journey in Mohiniyattam is an online series by the stalwarts in Mohiniyattam. Mohiniyattam is an art form that originates from the state of Kerala. We are very honored to present Srimati Smitha Rajan for our very first artist on the journey of Mohiniyattam. Srimati Smitha Rajan hails from a family who has laid the foundation in Mohiniyattam for generations. She is the granddaughter of Kalamandalam Krishnan Nair and Kalamandalam Kalyani Kuttiyamma. She is the daughter of Srimati Sridevi Rajan. Srimati Smitha Rajan has been fortunate to travel across the globe in pursuit of popularizing Mohiniyattam with her grandparents as well as her mother. She became a professional artist at the age of 12. She has won many accolades, including the Sangeet Natak Academy Award. She runs an institution called Nritta Kshetra in St. Louis, Missouri. We are very fortunate and honored to present Srimati Smitha Rajan for our first edition.
Namaste. Presenting Sri Jayadeva Kavi's Khandita Nayika, Radha, who goes through tumultuous emotions of anger, pain, love, disdain, and mockery on realizing the betrayal by her beloved Krishna. Angry and hurt, Radha criticized Krishna bitterly and asked him to go back to that place where he was happy. Throughout her venting, she describes how Krishna's deeds hurt the innocent maidens in Vrindavan, even bringing about the merciless killing of Putana, who breastfed him as a baby. Ashtabadi, set to Raga Sindhu Bhairavi and Tala Adi. I would like to acknowledge the artist behind the music. On Nattuvangam, Guru Sridevi Rajan. Vocal by Srimati Mini Tripunithura. Violin, Advocate Sri Ganesh. Mridangam, Sri Shyam K. Menon. And Idakka, Sri Tripunithura Hari. Thank you.
Shri Jayadeva Bhanita Rativanchita Khandita Yuvati Lapam Shrinuta Sudha Madhuram Vipudhalayatopi Durapam. अथ कथमपि यामिनी विनीय स्मरशर जर्जरितापि सा प्रभाते वचनं वदन्तमग्रे प्रणतमपि प्रियमाः साभ्यसूयम् रजनी जनित गुरु जागर राग कषायित मलस निमेषम् वहति नयनम् अनुरागमिव स्फुटमुदित रसाभिनिवेशम् हरि हरि याहि माधव याहि केशव मावद कैतव वादम् याहि माधव याहि केशव मावद कैतव वादम् कामनुसर सरसीरुगलोचन यातव हरति विषादम् कामनुसर सरसीरुगलोचन यातव हरति विषादम् कामनुसर सरसीरुगलोचन यातव हरति विषादम् याहि माधव याहि केशव मावद कैतव वादम् कजलमलिन विलोचन चुम्बन विरचित नीलिम रूपम् कजलमलिन विलोचन चुम्बन विरचित नीलिम रूपम् दशन हसनम् अरुणं तव कृष्ण तनुदितलोरनुरूपम् दशन हसनम् अरुणं तव कृष्ण तनुदितलोरनुरूपम् तनुदितलोरनुरूपम् याहि माधव याहि केशव मावद कैतव वादम् चरणकमल गलदलतकसीक्तम् इदं तव हृदय मुदारम् चरणकमल गलदलतकसीक्तम् इदं तव हृदय मुदारम् दर्शयतीव बहिर्मुखम् कलय परिवारम् याहि माधव याहि केशव मा वद कैतव वादम् भ्रमति भवानबला कबलाय वनिषु किमत्र विचित्रम् भ्रमति भवानबला कबलाय वनिषु किमत्र विचित्रम् प्रथयति पूत निकैव वधूवद निर्दय बालचरित्रम् 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 निर्दय बालचरित्रम् याहि माधव याहि केशव मा वद कैतव वादम् याहि माधव याहि केशव मा वद कैतव वादम् हरि हरि
Namaskaram, Smita Chichi.
Namaskaram, Rubina.
Welcome to Vedi. Vedi, Vedi is a platform to showcase artists who have made their mark in their respective fields. It is an honor to have you on Vedi.
My pleasure, and whatever I can share with you with my knowledge, I'm more than happy to be a part of your attempt.
Thank you so much. You come from a family of artists where you have seen your grandparents, your mother, your aunts, everybody in popularizing Mohiniyattam, bringing a structure, bringing a foundation for generations to come. And you have grown up seeing these things. What is Mohiniyattam to you?
Mohiniyattam is something with which I grew up. Mohiniyattam is definitely my mother tongue. That's what I have always felt. And I don't think I need to say anything else beyond that. If you ask me that question, what is Mohiniyattam? That is something which I grew up, that's what I saw from my childhood, being in the family, being with my gurus, my grandmother, my mother, and my aunt, engaging with them with numerous classes, performances, the travel they did, my grandmother did. So definitely that is part of my life. It's yes.
Yeah, you grew the surrounding itself. You're a product of your environment. That is what we can rightly say, right?
It's a blessed reality, but at the same time, a big responsibility too. Yeah.
Okay, when you were growing up, you would have seen your grandparents, your mom, your aunts who are teaching Mohiniyattam, and you have seen the Kalari those days. What is the structure of learning, how it is. How different is learning Mohiniyattam in those days to the current method of teaching?
I would like to definitely start talking about when you are asking about the history of Mohiniyattam from those days, I would definitely would love to start talking about from the time when my grandmother came out of Kerala Kalamandalam. That was in the later part of 1940s. She came out of Kerala Kalamandalam, and she never stopped teaching Mohiniyattam, and with the knowledge she had learned from Kerala Kalamandalam. There in Kerala Kalamandalam, she has learned 5 items: Cholkattu, Jatiswaram, Bhairavi Jatiswaram, I believe, Yadugula Kamboji Varnam, Endaho Vallabha and Arabhi Tillana. These are the items my guru had learned from Kerala Kalamandalam. So, but at that time, when they were practicing these dance forms in Kerala Kalamandalam, they didn't have a proper, strict structure for this art form to be identified. It has a classical dance form. So Guru Kalyani Kuttiamma, when she started teaching to different students after coming out of Kalamandalam, she re-choreographed most of these items to bring in a structure with the knowledge she had got from her gurus at Kalamandalam. So she re-choreographed most of the items, and she used to teach numerous students across Kerala and also in India. She immediately after from Kalamandalam, she joined Guru Gopinath's Sri Chitrodaya. She's taught there. She has taught Lalita Padmini Ragini sisters, Mohiniyattam. And again, later point of time, Mrinalini Sarabhai and her Darpana, she has taught Mohiniyattam. And she has taught some of the items which she had. I'm trying to talk from some of the notes, my notes, which I have here. So she had taught the Kamala Sulochana Vimala Tadagini item, Pahi Parvada Nandini, Himagiri Tannaye, Krishna Mugunda Murare, Bala Gopala, all these items she choreographed, and she used to teach numerous students, young girls, and these schools everywhere. She used to teach these items. So she, during that time, again, my grandfather and my grandmother, both of them were traveling, and they started a course of their own life when Mahakavi Vallatol invited Guru Kalamandalam Kalyani Kuttiamma to come back to Kalamandalam, because there was no Mohiniyattam during that time after she came out of Kalamandalam to teach Mohiniyattam. But as I said, they both had started their own path, and she was committed to different schools and her own school and her own family, so she couldn't go back to Kalamandalam at that time. So in 1950, Chinnamma teacher started teaching in Kerala Kalamandalam. But if you look at Kavalan Nanarpanikkar's sir's Sopana Tattvam, he has mentioned how where Chinnamma teacher had forgotten most of the items in Mohiniyattam, and along with A.R.R. Bhaskar sir, Bharatanatyam teacher there, and some of the musicians there in Kalamandalam, she could remember, she tried to recollect some of the items in Mohiniyattam, and she was teaching in Kerala Kalamandalam. But from 1950s to 1958, the progress that happened in Kerala Kalamandalam, Mahakavi Vallatol was not that happy with the progress, because he is one person who brought back, who could work on Kathakali a lot, and he couldn't do much about Mohiniyattam. And in 1958, Mahakavi invited my grandmother to his house. In his deathbed, he asked Guru Kalyani Kuttiamma to engage more in this particular dance form. So because he is one person who knew Kalamandalam Kalyani Kuttiamma so well. She is a poet herself. She is a person who had a very good knowledge of history, the command in Sanskrit she had, and she, overall, she was a very dedicated personality, and Mahakavi Vallatol knew that Kalamandalam Kalyani Kuttiamma would be the right person to whom he can hand over Mohiniyattam to. And with Mahakavi's initiation, started Kalyani Kuttiamma's second phase of engagement with Mohiniyattam, where she did a lot of research in this dance form. It was a much more serious step which she ended up, and she started traveling numerous places in Kerala, different parts of the Kerala, throughout Kerala and borders of Tamil Nadu. She went, and her research work, she brought in a proper structure, a discipline, and a form for this dance form, which elevated this dance form into another classical dance form of India. And this work which she had done, um, with that platform, using that platform she developed, many other dancers came to learn from Kalyani Kuttiamma. Amama was very happy to impart any knowledge she had, to pass it on to anybody who came to learn about Mohiniyattam, because Mohiniyattam then became part of her life. It was her, in her, throughout her life, it was the most important element. And her two daughters, Guru Sri Devi Rajan and Guru Kala Vijayan, both of them were also who started dancing at a very young age. They started working with Kalyani Kuttiamma and working for the coming of Mohiniyattam. They had traveled to different parts of India, different parts of throughout Kerala. And in those days, you have to know that in Kerala, the temples in Kerala were more active than the sabhas, like in Chennai or in other parts of the India. If you look in temples in Kerala, where the cultural point where almost every day we can see some main Kathakali performances, other classical dance performances. And Kalyani Kuttiamma traveled with Mohiniyattam to these places. She used to give a small introduction about the item, because people didn't know much about Mohiniyattam. This dance form was, it's popularizing only that time. And she gave a nice introduction on this dance form. And she started traveling to different places with her students and her two daughters. And during that time, in 1966, Satyabama teacher came to stay with Kalyani Kuttiamma in their family. She stayed there and she learned Mohiniyattam from Guru Kalyani Kuttiamma, after which she went back to Kerala Kalamandalam and reconstructed the Mohiniyattam in Kerala Kalamandalam. So if you look at it, you can see the different barnage which spun off from Kalyani Kuttiamma. The basic work was done by Guru Kalyani Kuttiamma. She as I said, the structure she created, she choreographed adavus for that in different sections: Taganam, Jaganam, Dhaganam, Sammishram, the adavus. And if you look at the different banis now, you can see everything started from Kalyani Kuttiamma's. If you look at these adavus, the Tattayam Adavu, Tattayam, Dittayam, all these adavus, the genesis is from what the second phase of work Guru Kalyani Kuttiamma had done. In 1966, Satyabama teacher came there. In 1972, or later part of that, Dr. Kanagarale came there. And if you look at it, the launch pad was Kalyani Kuttiamma's documentary, research work, and the work she had, the great compositions by Kalyani Kuttiamma. For example, during her visit, she had video recorded the Cholkattu, Variga Variga Sakhi, which Guru Kalyani Kuttiamma has written and composed, and Shankarabharanam Tillana, which Amama has written and composed. And that Kanagarale started her works from there. And again, Guru Bharati Shivaji also came there. So she came and she learned some of the adavus and I think few items from one of Kalyani Kuttiamma's student. And these talented people who could add on to this art form, and they created the the different barneys which you are seeing for Mohiniyattam. So the original creation, the foundational work was done by this master genius, I should say. And I also was a blessed part of that journey. And from my birth, I have seen her works, learned from her. It was a true Gurukula Shishya system of learning. I didn't know that I was learning such a serious dance form at that age, and I should say that that was blessed moment,
So many things that,
part of my life.
yeah. I mean, there's so much into it. Actually, we all just learn the art form. We don't know, and if there is somebody to tell us the history is when we actually know the path that it came from. That is the thing. My next question to you is, we have never seen at an age where Mohiniyattam was developing into an art form, like when you said Guru Kalyani Kuttiamma's time. During that time, what was the repertoire like? A Mohiniyattam repertoire? Was it it's not like the repertoire we see now, means they have in the Margam, they have a set number of items and all that. But in those days, what was a repertoire and what was the kind of accompaniments used for a repertoire?
Okay, so as I said, in Kalamandalam, there was only 5 items which Kalyani Kuttiamma, Guru Kalyani Kuttiamma has learned. As she came out and after the second phase of her engagement in Mohiniyattam, with Mohiniyattam, she choreographed, she wrote and composed numerous items to build up a repertoire for Mohiniyattam. So at that time, she felt very difficult to teach young students some of the padams, which was already written by Swathi Tirunal and Rayaman Thambi. All those padams were sometimes very difficult to teach a young child. So she wrote padams, a lot of padams and a lot of literature for Mohiniyattam, which could be used for different demographic ages. So that she wrote. And so later she developed, after 1974, she also developed Saptam. She included Saptam into the format. So the item order was Cholkattu, Jadiswaram, Varnam, Padam. Padam includes Ashtapatis, other Kirtanas, Tilana, Shlokam, and Saptam. So 7 items in a repertoire. This was the items which I have learned, and I have been part of when she choreographed the Rama Saptam and Shiva Saptam. In fact, I was one of the person with whom she choreographed the item. My grandmother, my mother, my aunt, they were composing. Amama wrote the Rama Saptam. And you should know one more thing. In Cholkattu, one part of Cholkattu, there was Ramayanam. One part was there when she learned it in Kalamandalam. So her guru has mentioned that this is part of a Saptam, a storytelling part, which used to go for like 2 hours to 6 hours storytelling, that practiced in the olden time. So that she knew, and with her research work, she taught more. She came to know more about these dance drama kind of presentation, which happened in the olden days. And with that knowledge, she wrote Saptams. So Saptam meaning the 7th. Okay, so the 7th item in a repertoire, Mohiniyattam repertoire. So that is the Kacheri format.
And the accompaniments that was used those days?
In those days, yeah, Toppi Maddalam was one instrument which used to be be part of Mohiniyattam repertoire, but which Mahakavi Vallatol took away that from the. But when we danced, we used to use Mridangam, Idakya, Maddalam, and recently we happened to hear about harmonium. We had used harmonium and flute mostly, and violin came in on and off. Violin also used to be there, and later part came veena. We started using veena into the presentations.
Veena and all came much recently to
Yeah, later only Veena came. Even these were the instruments which we have used, and I remember stages almost like at least minimum 4 stages a week I have performed, and I have traveled with my grandmother and my mother and my aunt throughout Kerala, most parts of India, and spreading this dance form with Spikmake and many other workshops which Amma had her master classes, traveled all across Kerala and all across India to popularize, to introduce this dance form. Yes.
wonderful.
Yeah.
The other thing it came to my mind is Mohiniyattam is an art form which has actually just evolved and just coming to be, it has not actually, what do you say, popular in a sense, it is popular, but we still feel there is a lot more to bring it to the forefront. When you traveled, Chechi, you traveled across the globe to perform. I have seen and I have read about your performances in the Europe, in many parts of other continents. The question is, how popular is Mohiniyattam in certain parts of the world? When you go and perform, are the audience like very new to Mohiniyattam? I'm sure you would have come across people who don't know what an art form, say, in interiors of Europe or somewhere, in the West. So I want to know your experience on that. When you travel outside India, are there people who really don't know this art form?
Many parts I went. Mohiniyattam, they were watching for the first time. Many parts. So basically, I had to literally introduce the art form to the people. And Mohiniyattam is unlike many other classical dance form. The more importance we give for the circular and semi-curve circular, and it's like a wave, the movements goes, and it has a characteristics of its own. And the abhinaya, the importance to abhinaya, which we give for the presentation of Mohiniyattam, all are its unique characteristics. So wherever I went, it was to most places, it was totally a new dance form I was introducing there. But at the same time, I have seen them enjoying and really enjoying, and they had invited me. Even now, I'm going back to most of these places and performing Mohiniyattam, and especially in America, here where I am staying here. Some dancers had come here and performed Mohiniyattam, but not that with that seriousness. So I have seen how over the years the number of students I'm having here itself is a big example of what the Mohiniyattam dance form here is in US right now. In the part where I am living, with my experience, I'm saying it's definitely a beautiful dance form and very commanding dance form. And many times I had been on stage with many other dance forms like Jugalbandi, performing Jugalbandi, and very serious, smart, very smart dancers I had been to stage with Mohiniyattam. And every time I have seen what a strong dance form is Mohiniyattam.
It is probably the most difficult
It
form because it is.
It's
Yeah.
a very good question, very good point. You said that yes, Mohiniyattam is one of the very difficult dance form because a dancer has to have a lot of balance to her body. The different postures which we hold with our lower part of the body, with the leg, the feet, the different mandala postures, the sitting to Aramandalam to Kalmandalam and Mukkal Mandalam. These transition will cause a great deal of effort in our knees. So the dancer has to have a very good balance, sitting in that posture, and the torso movement, the swaying movement, all these things put a lot of effort into the body. It's one of the difficult, and some of the Bharatanatyam students used to say after performing Bharatanatyam, you cannot do Mohiniyattam. because after Mohiniyattam, you cannot go switch the style to Bharatanatyam. There are some students who learn both the styles, right? So they can see, they are the people who definitely say, who said Mohiniyattam is an easy dance form? Mohiniyattam is very difficult, and even difficult than Bharatanatyam.
Correct.
Bharatanatyam is like more squeak, more steady, more straight lines. But Mohiniyattam has to have that control, because if you look at the dance form, for example, let me say the Adavu, tei, tei, ti, that tai, tai, di, ti is not what we are performing. We are dancing, we are feeling the extra beat also into that talam.
Correct.
Tai. So feeling that, one has to have proper control of body, proper training, and bring that flow of these dance form.
I know it is. Once you start learning, when we say people don't understand, but
Yes,
once
yes,
you start learning, you know the difficulty of that.
exactly.
So you
Yes.
said about Abhinaya. Abhinaya and Mohiniyattam is something very distinct. It,
Very, I'm sorry, what did you
very
ask?
distinct. It is not something which is. It is not something which is very easily learnt as well, because it needs a lot more, in-depth meaning to what you want to show. For example, even small things like when you show a king, or the expression on the face has to relate together with your Hastamudra.
Mhm.
In the current generation, how would you guide, or how would you tell the children should learn Abhinayam for Mohiniyattam?
Okay, so Mohiniyattam, when you are learning a dance style, learning a language, when you are learning a language, you learn the alphabets, right? The same way, we have an alphabet with mudras, for the mudras. Mudras are used to bring out an expression, right? To bring in a meaning in a dance. So learning these mudras are very important. So like Patagam, Mudrakyam, Kadagam, Mushti, these mudras are there. And for each mudra, same like an alphabet A, B, C, D, each mudra has words. And with that words, we bring in the expressions. So to bring into, we can teach a student the techniques of Abhinaya. Okay, the techniques of Abhinaya we can teach. But the student there is a lot a student has to do to understand what she's trying to convey, what she's trying to perform. So these techniques they will learn while we are doing a mudra like Raja, or an elephant. Okay, it's any mudra. So when we do a lotus, see, there are techniques, right? So when you have to look use our eyes in a circular movement, and how the lotus blooms, and how we bring the eyebrows. And now the next element is the mind, is the understanding you put to bring in an Abhinaya. So when my mother, Guru Sri Devi Rajan, she was working on the mudras. So that is the time on behalf of Kalyana Krishna Foundation. It's a foundation in honor to my grandparents, which I'm running for the past few years. We published my mother's book on Mudrakyam on mudras, hand gestures of Mohiniyattam. So in that, when we were doing the picturization for this particular, each mudra we were taking, for Patagam, Mudrakyam, each mudra, when I was the one who did the picturization. For the picturization, I am the one who performed. It's a lot of effort a dancer has to put, using the techniques and using the understanding of that particular word to bring in the completeness of that particular word, of a particular word. So there is a big responsibility on the student side. She has to have a good knowledge of what she's performing, the subject she's taking. She has to observe her teachers or in performances, lot of performances, and try to bring in the abhinaya. So abhinaya is, there are techniques we can teach, but there is a big part on a student side also, to understand the techniques and try to bring in the completeness of an expression.
Yeah, it is subjective to a person. It is, we can say that it is how much you can develop on what is being taught as well, right?
Definitely. And the Mohiniyattam gives a lot of importance to Abhinaya. And we have same way, it's Adavus, the basic Adavus and the structure we have for Mohiniyattam. Using that structure, we bring in the facial expressions also in Mohiniyattam, giving more significance to Abhinaya in the performance. Yeah.
You have a book, you are the author of the book Mudrakyam. What was the inspiration for you to actually come out with a textbook like that for Mudra and the Hasta Vinyogas?
The author is my mother, Guru Sri Devi Rajan. I'm the one who brought the book under Kalyana Krishna Foundation. The inspiration definitely was to spread the word. This is a language to the numerous students who were looking for the basic. It's like a dictionary. It's a dictionary. Any student, any part of the world, they are different parts. They are using that book as a dictionary when they are choreographing items. This is so useful. Just wanted to share the knowledge with the students. Yes.
Oh, thank you. It is such a big contribution. When I started learning Mohiniyattam, I didn't know there were textbooks. Then out of, searching through so many sites, texts, and when I used to live in Bangalore, we used to look through a lot of these bookshops, and I came across this. And
Yeah.
that is how actually we know. So for me, the main thing is, if any child is learning Mohiniyattam, please go ahead and buy Mudrakyam.
Yeah, this is the book Mudrakyam, and as I was saying in the first part earlier, to show one mudra, you have to use all the techniques you have learned, and there is a method of doing a particular mudra. So if you look into the pictures, you can see the effort put for the facial expressions also, which has incorporated with the mudras. So I think the students can definitely understand the mudras and the expressions also used for a particular mudra. Yes.
Yeah, the book contains a lot of pictures actually. I have
good to know that. Yeah.
A lot of pictures. In fact, every mudra, the Vinyoga in different things is explained pictorially. So it is very self-explanatory actually.
Yes, and it also has a transliteration and translation also.
Oh.
Yeah, yes, yeah.
Smita Chechi, the other thing I wanted to check, there are a lot of students lately we see they do a lot of research on Mohiniyattam and they take up Mohiniyattam very seriously, and but a common complaint we get from these artists or who are researchers is that there are not enough resources for Mohiniyattam. Resources and in textbooks and this thing. Is it during the is it because it got ruined during the era of or we didn't have any recorded information? What could be the known reasons? I mean, we all don't know. So what could have been the known reasons?
In the olden days, it was the Vaimori system of the knowledge passing that happened, right? So same thing in Kerala also. This dance form is one of the latest addition into the classical list of dance forms in India. So in the dancers who practiced in Kerala, for them everything was they practiced. They were under a guru and then they practiced. So there were no much written books on this particular dance form. But if you look at it, those dancers who came from outside Kerala, for them to understand the language, they have to write it down. They immediately wrote it down. So what happened? That later became a research work. Research then they are the one who first brought out the books on Mohiniyattam. I shouldn't say the first one, because my grandmother Guru Kalamalam Kalyani Kuttiyamma, she has written books in Mohiniyattam in Malayalam. Okay, so the books are written, the two books which Kalyani Kuttiyamma wrote on Mohiniyattam, both are in Malayalam. So the dancers, all the dancers who came from outside Kerala, for them it was part of taking notes also, and then some of them did the research work. So for them, part of their work, all what they learn immediately, they have to write it down and take notes, and so there they are the one who brought a book in Mohiniyattam in English also. So the students from outside Kerala, for them, that is the book which they are seeing for the first time. But the books which Kalyani Kuttiyamma wrote were in Malayalam. Unfortunately, most of the students didn't see that one. Then again, as I said, it was all practiced. In Guru Shishya Parampara, there nobody used to write down. They used to practice. In these dance forms, any dance form, if you look at it, it's not the theory that used to, somebody used to sit there and learn the theory. More than learning the theory, they used to practice. So while practicing, staying with the Guru throughout on a daily process, they learn the history. They learn the theories, all the practical side. Through the practically they learned everything. So again, as you know, we have not written, even the history of India is not written properly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. My next question is, what is globalization of Mohiniyattam to you, and how do you think practitioners will be able to help globalize this art form?
This is one of the other language from Kerala, from India, I should say. Bharatanatyam is one very common dance form, and Mohiniyattam is another language, which is a latest addition into the classical list. So now you can see all the geographical boundaries are broken, and Mohiniyattam is we dancers like me and some other dancers who had traveled, and you are also another one person who is teaching in USA Mohiniyattam, and Mohiniyattam now with the current situation, we are using the online portal to teach Mohiniyattam. So like any other globalization that has happened in any field, Mohiniyattam also has grown, has used this platform to spread out this particular dance form. And last 20 years, I should say, there are more practitioners in this dance form from the time which I remember. When I was practicing, when I started learning Mohiniyattam, the two people I remember was Kalamandalam, Kerala Kalamandalam, and my grandmother's style. And later came Kanakarale ma'am and Bharati Shwaji ma'am. And just now look at it, how many styles of Mohiniyattam you can see. So I'm one person who had witnessed those Kalyani Kuttiyamma style and then Kalamandalam style. And then later came all these dance forms. So I think
Yeah, I truly, absolutely, yeah.
yeah,
Globalization is happening. Yes, I
yes,
totally agree. And here in North America itself, we have, so many very good practitioners who actually are doing such a lot to, bring Mohiniyattam to the.
very good to see that Mohiniyattam is now one of the upcoming, I should say,
It's
dance.
definitely the upcoming, because at a time when we moved to US and we started, hardly anybody knew. It was a very difficult thing performing a cholkatte, and for people to relate to what was a cholkatte. Yes, it
Mhm,
was indeed a big challenge.
mhm,
And
mhm,
even if an artist came from India, like
mhm,
if a teacher was coming from India and I was supposed to host a workshop, those days it used to be a challenge, because few years ago, and not even few, 5 to 8 years ago, it used to be a challenge kind of thing. But now people know the value of
What is the dance form? What is the
it.
style? Yes, yeah. And again, with this everything moving on to online portal, and with you should also remember the time when TV started. Okay, TV revolution. I remember that time also, how I was one of the national program. I was one among the dancers who had performed for National Network in India. And at that time, crossing the geographical boundary crossed, from Kerala, it used to go throughout India. Now, with this particular situation, everything moving on, performances moving on to the online portal, all geographical boundaries are, destroyed. And then we are, throughout the world, they are seeing Mohiniyattam also.
Exactly. The
Yes,
connection between the audience and the performer is much lesser, actually. People they are connected and they're bringing them closer to each other.
Yes.
Thank you, Smriti Chechi, for your time. It was really an honor to have you with us. You shared so many things that probably none of us knew. A lot of things, a lot of us don't know, especially because you come from a legacy where your grandparents and generations have worked only to uplift Mohiniyattam. And the work that I have seen you perform live last year, and we can see the kind of seriousness in your this performance. When we see the tradition, how it has been carried on from generations to generation, the reach, the appeal that you leave after your performance. Yeah, so it's my experience stunning. That is the kind of you leave the audiences mesmerized. Especially last year, after seeing your performance at the KHNA convention, the Sri Shakti. Oh, it was like it brought goosebumps to everybody. It was such a wonderful performance. Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Always talking about Mohiniyattam, and I'm sure most of the people, you asked me questions from that old time, and I'm sure most of the people are not having a correct picture of the many are having so many misconceived wisdom of Mohiniyattam history from that time. So I'm very happy that I could share at least some of the facts which I had seen, experienced, learned, and I'm very happy to share those. And again, anytime for Mohiniyattam. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Namaskaram.
Namaskar.